Hey guys, welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. And please stick around to the end of the video for some real quick announcements. I did get the calendars in, so everyone who ordered them, they shipped out today. So today's video, we are going to be talking about an absolutely miraculous rescue mission that took place in Olympic National Park. And this was back in September of 2021, so not that long ago. But so often on this channel we cover cases where people aren't found, or it's just, it's very upsetting at times, and it's nice to be able to cover the cases where people are rescued and they've made it out okay, and they also were well prepared enough to make it out okay. And this is one such story. This gentleman was just going out for a week-long adventure. This gentleman named Jerren Fisher, he's 26 years old, a very experienced hiker, and he had set out to Olympic National Park in September 8th of this year, and he was due back roughly on September 12th. That was his intended date back. He was planning on starting at the Graves Creek Trailhead, and he had quite a list of places that he was going to camp at. He was going to camp at Enchanted Valley, Marmot Lake, Camp Pleasant, and Sundown Lake. And this is according to what he told the National Park Service later on. So he had quite the adventure planned here in Olympic National Park. Now I'm going to have pictures of the various areas that he had started his hike in and had planned to camp in. And for those that don't know, Olympic National Park is in the state of Washington. It is in the northwestern part of the state. Apparently Jerren was very familiar with this park, and like I said, he had his itinerary all laid out. But when he missed his window of being back by September 12th, he wasn't actually reported missing until the 16th. So park rangers actually eventually ended up locating his vehicle at the Graves Creek Trailhead, and they began their search from there. Basically what they did was they hiked throughout the areas starting from the Graves Creek Trailhead towards Sundown Lake, basically following Fisher's itinerary in reverse. Now at this point the search effort was making good progress. They had covered roughly half of the area that was reported on Fisher's itinerary. However, as usual with cases like this, cold and rainy, windy weather started to move in roughly on the second or third day of the search, which of course hampered their efforts. It was some kind of big storm system that moved across the Olympic Peninsula, that created all kinds of terrible conditions for the pilots. Couldn't go out, the search planes couldn't go out, the search helicopters couldn't go out. However, they finally did get a break. The Sunday after the search started at roughly 4:30 p.m., park rangers who were on foot made voice contact with Fisher, and they sort of knew where he was, but because of how steep of the ravine that he was in, it prevented them from actually going to rescue him at the time. Now, can you imagine you've been stuck in this ravine for days, you've just gone through this storm, you're hungry, you're cold, you're tired, you hear the rescuers there, but yet they can't get to you, and you know that who knows how long it might take for them to get back. So I really hand it to this guy, Jerren. He really kept his wits about him, he stayed calm, and he really did a great job in this whole situation. Once the search and rescue team that was on foot realized they weren't going to be able to get to him, they contacted the U.S. Coast Guard at the air station in Port Angeles for assistance. Now, according to the Park Service, when the helicopter arrived, Fisher used a flashlight that he had to guide the crew to the area that he was at. But unfortunately, fuel restraints, and this is according to what the Coast Guard said, fuel restraints and the complexity of the hoist prompted them to request another helicopter from Astoria, Oregon, to help aid in the rescue. According to what the National Park Service said, the air station at Port Angeles contacted the watch standards at the 13th Coast Guard District Command Center in Seattle and alerted them of the situation, and they launched an MH-65 Dolphin rescue helicopter, and they sent them out to the scene. Once they arrived at the scene, it took the air crew about 30 minutes to locate the search party that was on foot. At this point, it was the Coast Guard MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter from Astoria that took over the scene, and they deployed a rescue swimmer into the ravine. Now, that Coast Guard rescue swimmer was able to meet up with Fisher, and Fisher was he was okay, he was conscious, he had some cuts and bruises, but he was hoisted out of this ravine at about 8 p.m., and the whole thing took about an hour, and there are some pictures of the actual rescue. These are images from the helicopter that evening of Fisher being hoisted out of the ravine and the teams on the ground getting him into the harness. And the crew subsequently landed at 8:30 p.m. at Olympia Regional Airport and took Fisher to the hospital, and of course EMS was already waiting, and they reported that he was in stable condition, and aside some scrapes and bruises, he was fine. And of course he was more than grateful, and the Coast Guard, I think this is just amazing, the Coast Guard sent this official thank you to the National Park Service rescue team, saying thank you for the National Park Service teams who located the stranded hiker and were able to direct our air crews to achieve a safer rescue, said Lieutenant Commander Colin Boyle of the 13th District Command Center Chief. I mean, it's just so cool, like all these guys working together, and just, something having a great outcome. Everybody came out safe, no search and rescue or anybody was hurt. And Jerren only had a few cuts and bruises, having been out there for 11 days. I wasn't able to find the exact details of how Jerren Fisher became lost or stranded to begin with, but I'm guessing between the weather and the ravine that he got stuck in. I know that the search and rescue team, they had found him in the area of Six Ridge, which is apparently a crazy steep ravine. And if you get stuck down there, you don't have climbing equipment. But the Coast Guard wanted to urge hikers and anybody venturing into remote areas to not only have a plan for reliable communication in order to reach first responders, but to also tell people your itinerary, which Mr. Fisher did. He did not have a Garmin device, so he wasn't able to contact the authorities. Now, of course, this all worked out in the end, but like I said, the authorities do urge, and I think it's a great idea too, for people to carry something like a Garmin or InReach device or anything where you can activate an SOS feature if you are seriously stranded or injured. And for those of you that like to adventure or hike in the shoulder season or winter, it is strongly advised to carry extra gear as far as a puffy jacket. This is the one thing that gets a lot of day hikers in trouble, because people go out for a simple day hike. They're not planning on needing to spend the night anywhere out in the woods, and all of a sudden something happens, they twist their ankle or suffer a fall, and they need to spend the night outside, and all they have is a tank top and yoga pants. So it's always a good idea. There's lots of really lightweight synthetic jackets out there that only weigh 7 or 8 ounces. Emergency blankets only weigh an ounce or 2. And I know that a lot of people are worried about cost and gear, that kind of thing. I've bought most of my gear either used or on a sale shelf, and right now Black Friday deals are coming up, so just look out for things that are discounted, or maybe they're a blemished model or something where you can get a reduced price thing, because you always want to have gear that you can rely on. And if you're planning on doing hiking in the shoulder seasons or the winter, I highly recommend that you go out with other people, especially if it's your first time, and do some research. I've got some various videos on different gear, and there's tons of videos on YouTube as well. And if you guys ever have any questions or want a recommendation or anything like that, just feel free to send me a message or ask other people in the comments. I mean, there's tons of people that are out there adventuring, or send me an email. I'd love to help in any way I can. In any event, guys, I just really wanted to share the story of Jerren Fisher with you guys. It was just such a miraculous rescue, and he had been out there for 11 days before he was brought to safety. So he was prepared enough to survive until rescuers were able to get him out, and that says a lot about how he prepared for his adventure. Even though it turned into a misadventure, it all worked out in the end. And even the National Park Service said that if he hadn't been prepared, he probably wouldn't have made it. Just great that this all worked out in the end, and I'm just very happy that he was able to get home safe to his family. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the search and rescuers and the Coast Guard and everyone who goes out there every day risking their own lives to help save other people that have gotten lost or injured or whatever the scenario is. They're heroes, each and every one of them. And just remember, guys, most of these men and women are volunteers, and they're doing this all on their own time and risking their own lives to help us. I want to thank everybody for watching, as always. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music, and I will see everybody in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to let everyone know I got some new things in, so it's going to make a lot of things better, the audio, and I'm just waiting for one more adapter, and I will also be able to create longer content and with better visual things. So I'm just waiting for one or two more things. I should have that Monday, and I am working on a very long marathon video. However, I say marathon, but it's going to be all new cases that I haven't covered, and it's going to be at least a 45-minute to an hour long video, and that will be coming up shortly. I just finally got the capability of making a video that long, so that will be coming up. And if you would like to buy a calendar, they are $17. I'll have the information in the description. I just need your address and name. Everyone that has ordered one, like I said in the beginning, those have already shipped out. And I thank everybody for all your wonderful support, and for all those that have submitted donations. It means the world to me, and thank you so much for your generosity.